Bienvenue chez Examist, votre partenaire de confiance pour réussir vos certifications. Nous proposons des supports d'études complets, en ligne et hors ligne. Et nous sommes là pour vous guider pas à chaque étape. Des guides PDF détaillés aux exercices pratiques bien structurés. Toutes les questions essentielles sont soigneusement couvertes pour vous donner toutes les chances de réussir. Vous aurez toujours les bonnes ressources à portée de main. Téléchargez les PDFs. Faites des tests et connectez-vous à notre équipe d'assistance experte. Avec la pratique interactive en ligne. Entraînez-vous et quand vous voulez. À votre rythme. Nos PDFs prêts pour l'examen sont soigneusement élaborés et régulièrement mis à jour. Des milliers d'apprenants certifiés font confiance à notre qualité et à notre sérieux. Des professionnels qualifiés sont disponibles pour répondre à vos questions. Commencez dès aujourd'hui et donnez à votre préparation l'avantage décisif avec Examist. Visitez Examens.com dès maintenant. Examist. Votre parcours vers le succès commence ici.
Question 1. Which of the following commands erases the contents of the Dev SDB3 partition? Option A. Room, Dev, SDB3. Option B. DD if equals, Dev, 0 of equals, Dev, SDB3. Option C. DD of equals, Dev, 0 if equals, Dev, SDB3. Option D. U mount, Dev, SDB3. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B, DD if equals, Dev, 0 of equals, Dev, SDB3. Question 2. Which of the following files will be looked for and used by new make? If one of them exists, unless a different file is specified on the command line when trying to compile software from source code. Choose 2. Option A. Configure. Option B. Config. H. In. Option C. Makefile. Option D. Makefile. Option E. Makefile. In. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C, Makefile. Option D, Makefile. Question 3. Which of the following commands restores only those files containing LPI in their name from the archive? LPI files. tar, gz. Option A. tar xvzf LPI files. tar, gz, wildcards, asterisk LPI. Option B. tar xvzwf LPI files. tar, gz, asterisk LPI. Option C. tar xvfz LPI files. tar, gz, deep, asterisk LPI. Option D. tar xvzf LPI files. tar, gz, subdials, asterisk LPI. Option E. tar xvzf LPI files. tar, gz, globbing, asterisk LPI. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A, tar xvzf LPI files. tar, gz, wildcards, asterisk LPI. Question 4. A regular user has just run configure and make install to build and install a program. However, the installation fails. What could be done to install the program? Choose 2. Option A. Install the binaries manually with su-install. Option B. Run make install with root privileges. Option C. Do not run. Configure in order to maintain the default configuration for correct installation. Option D. Rerun. Configure with a prefix option where the user has permissions to write. Option E. Run make install local to install into USR local. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. Run make install with root privileges. Option D. Rerun. Configure with a prefix option where the user has permissions to write. Question 5. The following command has just been run successfully. cd, opt, ta xvf, dev, nst0. What will happen if the command sequence is run again? Option A. An error saying that there is no tape present is generated because the tape has been ejected after being used. Option B. The contents of opt will be restored again. Option C. The entire contents of opt will be replaced with the contents of the next file on the tape. Option D. The contents of opt will have additional content added from the next file on the tape. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D. The contents of opt will have additional content added from the next file on the tape. Question 6. Which single command simulates a failed device within a RAID 5 array? Option A. mdadm, remove, dev, mdo, dev, sdd1. Option B. mdadm, 0 superblock, dev, sdf3. Option C. mdadm, force fault, dev, md2, dev, sde2. Option D. mdadm, fail, dev, mdo, dev, sdc1. Option E. mdadm, dev, md0, offline, dev, sdc1. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D. mdadm, fail, dev, mdo, dev, sdc1. Question 7. What is the minimum number of disks required in a fully redundant RAID 5 array? Option A. 1. Option B. 2. Option C. 3. Option D. 4. Option E. 5. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. 3. Question 8. A system has one hard disk and one CD writer which are both connected to SATA controllers. Which device represents the CD writer? Option A. Dev, HDB. Option B. Dev, SDD. Option C. Dev, SCD1. Option D. Dev per steradian 0. Option E. Dev per steradian 1. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D. Dev per steradian 0. Question 9. What action should be performed after increasing the size of a logical volume? Option A. Run VG resize. Option B. Increase the size of the file system used for the logical volume. Option C. Run 1 resize. Option D. Remount the logical volume. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. Increase the size of the file system used for the logical volume. Question 10. What information is found in the following excerpt from the file, proc, mdstat? Choose 2. Option A. One of the disks in dev, MD0 has failed and a spare disk is used to recreate full redundancy. Option B. The spare disk, dev, SDA1 is used to restore full redundancy after the current recovery. Option C. The information, OO, means that the RAID is missing one disk and is not fully redundant. Option D. The device is using version 1. 2 metadata to allow Lilo and Grub Legacy to use. Dev, MD0 is the boot partition. This would not have been necessary with GRUB2. Option E. The information, 3 halves, means that 3 RAID disks belong to the array and 2 disks are spare. Together they equal the number of available disks. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. One of the disks in Dev, MD0 has failed and a spare disk is used to recreate full redundancy. Option C. The information "oo" means that the RAID is missing one disk and is not fully redundant. Question 11. Which command is used to make an exact copy, at a single point in time, of a logical volume while still allowing the original logical volume to be updated? Option A. LPIC-clone. Option B. LPIC-create. Option C. LPM2. Option D. LPSnap. Option E. LPSnapshot. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B, LPIC-create. Question 12. Which of the following commands creates a BTRF subvolume named volume in MNT? Option A. BTRFS subvolume add N volume MNT. Option B. BTRFS create subvolume MNT volume. Option C. BTRFS subvolume create MNT volume. Option D. BTRFS subvolume new volume MNT. Option E. BTRFS subvolume create MNT volume. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option E, BTRFS subvolume create MNT volume. Question 13. Due to extreme system use, a Linux system requires some additional swap space. To initialize 5 GB of additional swap space, which combination of commands should be used? Option A. dd if equals dev 0 of equals tmp swap file bs equals 1024 count equals 51200 mk swap tmp swap file mount tmp swap file. Option B. dd if equals dev 0 of equals tmp swap file bs equals 1024 count equals 51200 swap on tmp swap file. Option C. dd if equals dev 0 of equals tmp swap file bs equals 1024 count equals 51200 mk swap tmp swap file. Swap on tmp swap file. Option D. touch -5g tmp swap file. Swap on tmp swap file. Option E. mk swap tmp swap file 51200. Swap on tmp swap file. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. dd if equals dev 0 of equals tmp swap file bs equals 1024 count equals 51200 mk swap tmp swap file. Swap on tmp swap file. Question 14. What is the purpose of a system mount unit? Option A. It is used by the command system demount and allows users to mount partitions to mount points of their choice. Option B. It is used only to mount network file systems to local mount points. It cannot be used for local media. Option C. It is created by the command system dfstab generator to integrate entries from etc fstab into the system boot process. Option D. It is used by the command mount when using system to mount and unmount file systems. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. It is created by the command system dfstab generator to integrate entries from etc fstab into the system boot process. Question 15. What component of a system does SmartD monitor? Option A. CPU. Option B. RAM. Option C. Hard drives. Option D. Ethernet traffic. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C, hard drives. Question 16. How can the label root be added to the ext4 file system on Dev SDA1? Option A. Relabel Dev SDA1 root. Option B. Tune to FS L root Dev SDA1. Option C. Echo root greater than proc FS SDA1 label. Option D. Labels device Dev SDA1 root. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B, tune to FS L root Dev SDA1. Question 17. Which subcommand to crypt setup shows information about an encrypted LUX partition? Option A. LUX dump. Option B. LUX info. Option C. LUX debug. Option D. LUX ls. Option E. LUX show. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A, LUX dump. Question 18. Which of the following is a CD-ROM file system standard? Option A. OSI 9660. Option B. ISO 9660. Option C. SR0FS. Option D. ISO 8859. Option E. ROMEO. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B, ISO 9660. Question 19. Which of the following init systems comes along with an own UEFI bootloader? Option A. System D. Option B. SysWinit. Option C. Upstart. Option D. OpenRC. Option E. LaunchD. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A, System D. Question 20. What effect does the F option to the update RC D command have on files in the etc rcx D and etc init D directories? Option A. It will force the removal of the sim links in etc rcx D even when the links are read only. Option B. It will remove both the sim links in etc rcx D and the init script in etc init D. Option C. It will remove the init script in etc init D and the sim links in etc rcx D and update the package information of installed files. Option D. It will force the removal of sim links in etc rcx D even if the corresponding init script still exists in etc init D. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D. It will force the removal of sim links in etc rcx D even if the corresponding init script still exists in etc init D. Question 21. Which command is used to install a grub bootloader into the master boot record? Option A. Grub install. Option B. Grub mkconfig. Option C. Grub install mbr. Option D. Grub glue mbr. Option E. Grub mbr setup. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A, grub install. Question 22. If the file containing the Linux kernel is deleted, what happens when the system boots? Option A. The system starts normally since the bootloader copies the kernel to the master boot record of the hard disk. Option B. Instead of the kernel, The initramps is loaded and instructed to mount the root file system and reinstall the kernel from the original package or from source. Option C. The bootloader mounts the root file system read-only and launches bin sh directly in order to allow the administrator to reinstall kernel. Option D. Without a kernel, system cannot boot and, depending on the bootloader, an error is displayed. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D. Without a kernel, system cannot boot and, depending on the bootloader, an error is displayed. Question 23. A Linux server running system debooted to rescue. Target for maintenance. Which commands are used to restore the server to its usual target? Choose 2. Option A. Telnet 0. Option B. systemctl default. Option C. Sync. Option D. systemctl emergency. Option E. systemctl reboot. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B, systemctl default. Option E, systemctl reboot. Question 24. What is the purpose of an initramps during the Linux system start? Option A. It loads required modules and starts subsystems like LVM to make the root file system accessible to the kernel. Option B. It moves the kernel from normal system memory to initram memory to speed up kernel access. Option C. It copies the root file system's contents to RAM to speed up the system and reduce writes to disk. Option D. It creates a RAM disk to store volatile data for directories like TMP to reduce writes to disk. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. It loads required modules and starts subsystems like LVM to make the root file system accessible to the kernel. Question 25. Which of the following is a user space application used to modify EFI entries on a Linux system? Option A. EFI editor. Option B. Config EFI. Option C. EFI manager. Option D. EFI boot mgr. Option E. EFI boot edit. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D, EFI boot mgr. Question 26. In which directory tree are files modified when changing kernel parameters using the command sysctl? Option A. sys kernel. Option B. proc kernel. Option C. proc sys. Option D. lib sys. Option E. sys proc. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. proc sys. Question 27. What is the purpose of the command udevadem monitor? Option A. It listens to kernel events produced by a udev rule and prints information to the console. Option B. It monitors the dev directory for new devices. Option C. It monitors the udev process and prints performance statistics to the console. Option D. It communicates with dbus to set up new devices. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. It listens to kernel events produced by a udev rule and prints information to the console. Question 28. How is the source code for the main Linux kernel modules distributed? Option A. It is included with the Linux kernel source code. Option B. The kernel modules are downloaded on demand as they are used during compilation. Option C. The kernel modules have their own release cycle and can be maintained separately from the Linux kernel source. Option D. It is provided as a separate download alongside the Linux kernel source code for the same version. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. It is included with the Linux kernel source code. Question 29. After the downloading PATCH4.6.4.xz from http kernel.org, what are the next steps to prepare the build of a version 4.6.4 Linux kernel? Choose 2. Option A. Uncompress the file and move the resulting directory to usr src Linux. Option B. Apply the patch file to the kernel source directory containing kernel version 4.6.0. Option C. Apply the patch file to the kernel source directory containing kernel version 4.6.3. Option D. Uncompress the file using xz to get the uncompressed patch file. Option E. Use patch to apply the uncompressed patch file to the source directory of any previous kernel version. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. Apply the patch file to the kernel source directory containing kernel version 4.6.0. Option D. Uncompress the file using xz to get the uncompressed patch file. Question 30. After manually compiling and installing a new kernel, what has to be done regarding the initramps? Option A. 2. Initramps is independent of the kernel and should not be modified unless the hardware configuration of the machine has changed. Option B. Since the initramps contains kernel modules, a new initramps must be built for the new kernel. Option C. During the compilation of the Linux kernel, a new initramps is built automatically. The new initramps only needs to be installed. Option D. The system should be restarted since the initramps reconfigures itself for the new kernel during the startup of a system. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. Since the initramps contains kernel modules, a new initramps must be built for the new kernel. Question 31. Which of the following commands displays the physical path of the kernel module named dummy? Option A. Mode probe, I dummy. Option B. Mode info, N dummy. Option C. Mode path, V dummy. Option D. Dep mod, N dummy. Option E. Mod show, P dummy. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. Mode info, N dummy. Question 32. Which of the following parameters instructs the kernel at boot time to use only one of the available processors? Option A. Max CPUs equals 1. Option B. USE CPUs equals 1. Option C. SMP CPUs equals 1. Option D. vCPUMX equals 1. Option E. VMX CPUs equals 1. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. Max CPUs equals 1.